In this video, I'm going to go over some tips to try to improve your walking. The first thing we're going to do is work on seated marching. So all that you're going to do is sit in a chair that's nice and stable, and you're going to work on just picking up your feet one at a time. And I'd have my patients repeat this for maybe 1 to 2 sets initially of maybe 20 repetitions, 30 repetitions, and then eventually I'm going to work up to having the patient do that for maybe a minute, and then repeat that several times, and then have them do that for homework at home, because it's nice and safe in a sitting position several times a day. The next thing we're going to work on is sit to stands. This is a great way to not only strengthen the lower body, but then also prepare the patient for walking. It's going to challenge that balance a little bit whenever they first come to stand. And you can progress this in different ways. I've had patients stand on balance cushions, or when they first come to stand, maybe I kind of bump them a little bit on their trunk and just challenge their balance. There's different aspects you can upgrade or downgrade this. So what you're going to have the patient do is scoot out to the edge of the chair. They're going to lean forwards, put their nose out over their toes, hands on the armrest of the chair. You definitely want a chair with armrests initially, especially for safety purposes. And they're just going to push up with their arms, stand up, reach back, nose back over the toes, come right back down. Lean forwards, nose over toes, push up, and then come back down. You're eventually going to work towards where the patient does not use their upper extremities to push up from the chair. It's going to have their hands in their lap or out in front. You can have them do that holding a weighted ball, just to add some additional difficulty to that exercise. And I'd have them perform that for 2 to 3 sets, 10 to maybe 15 repetitions. Now, a point to make is if the patient has shoulder pain and they have a lot of shoulder pain when they push down, that's uncomfortable, you may have to modify that. I may decrease the amount of repetitions that the patient's performing, and then I also may help them to come up to stand with a little bit of physical cueing and assistance. Next, we're going to work on marching in place. All that you're going to do is have the patient stand there. They're going to pick their feet up and down, just shifting their weight. You can hold on to them. You want to make sure they don't fall. If they have a walker or cane, whatever they need to use is fine while they're doing this. And then to make this more difficult or to add another dimension to it, similar to how we would walk, you're going to work on the marching with an arm swing. So what you're going to do is when the left leg comes up, the right arm goes forwards. When the right leg comes up, the left arm goes forward. So just like this. Just an arm swing and a march, so you can kind of see that. And I typically have the patients perform that for maybe 1 to 3 minutes. I'm working up towards. Initially, they're not going to be able to go that long, but I'm going to work up to 1 to 3 minutes and repeat that for a couple of sets. And that's also something they can do at home for homework if they have a caregiver that can be with them for safety purposes, or if you feel like they're safe enough to be able to perform that on their own, they can do that several times a day. Next, we're going to look at single leg stance. And it's important for single leg stance because a lot of people say, how often do I stand on one foot or one leg? Actually, very often. If you walk, every time that you're walking during stance phase, you are standing on one leg. So if I'm walking and I'm going forward, so I'm walking, when I plant my left foot and my right leg swings through, I am standing on one foot. Right? May not be for very long, may be brief, but I am standing on one foot. If your patient's performing lower body dressing, bathing, grooming, if they stand to perform that, they are standing on one leg during that performance. Transfers in and out of a tub shower, in and out of the vehicle, all standing on one leg. Step stair negotiation, going up and down steps or stairs, again standing on one leg. So what I have the patient do is, if they need to hold on to a surface or use their walker, cane, whatever, or if I need to give physical assistance, I'm going to hold on to them, bring one foot up off the floor or the ground, hold it there, and I'm working towards about 30 seconds, and then we'll swap and go to the other side, hold it for about 30 seconds. If you want to make that more difficult, you can have the patient stand on a balance cushion or a balance pad. You can challenge that. If they don't have balance pads or balance cushions, or you don't have a balance cushion at home, you can take just a bath towel, fold that over several times, make it a little thicker, stand on that. You can get a very similar effect as to using a balance pad. Next, we're going to look at mini squats. So what you're going to do is you're going to hold onto the back of a chair, a countertop, a couch, just whatever surface that you have. If you're using a rolling walker, you're going to hold onto your walker, and you're going to start holding on, and we're going to work on a mini squat. Just hinging at the hips, pushing back, bending the knees, and coming down. Eventually, just going to work to where you're doing just a free squat where you don't have to hold on. Arms can be out in the front. You're squatting down. You don't have to go really deep at first. Eventually, you can work on going deeper if that's a goal for you, to be able to bend down, pick something up off the floor, get laundry out of your dryer or something like that. You can do that. But again, I would start off initially holding onto a surface and then work towards a free squat. You can always add dumbbells or kettlebells to that to make that more challenging. Next, we're going to work on sidestepping. I like this technique. You can put a band around the legs, the thighs. You don't have to. All that you're going to do is step out to the side and then step back, step out to the side and then step back. If you have a hallway or a countertop or something you can hold on to, you can hold on to the back of that and just work your way down the hallway, back and forth. You can complete several repetitions of that several times a day. That's a great technique to work on weight shift and also improve strength in the outsides of the hips. The last thing we're going to work on is backwards walking. I like backwards walking for several reasons. Number one, it challenges the nervous system, increasing your balance, improving your strength, endurance, as well as building confidence. If you can walk backwards, you definitely can walk forwards. So all that you're going to do initially, you want to hold on to a surface, a countertop, the back of the couch, or if you're using a walker, etc. You're going to do that, and I'm going to focus on when I step back, my toes hit first. I roll through, push off my heel, toes hit first, roll through, push off my heel. And I'm going to repeat that for several repetitions, and that's something I would do several times a day. Of course, make sure nothing's behind you. You don't want to fall. If you aren't safe to do that at home, if your balance is pretty compromised, make sure you have someone that can be there with you while you do that. But again, that's backwards walking, and that can be a very effective tool at improving your ambulation. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this video helps to improve your lower body strength, standing balance, and confidence when walking. Thanks so much.